Yo, what is good, my anime fam? Ow, hey, ow. What's good, everybody? I honestly think we are getting to a point where Golden Kamuy is easily. Whoa, that was a lot of damage, brother. It's easily becoming one of the shows that you just can't trust nobody until you truly figure out the information you need to know about them. That being said, seeing so much information be given about the father and pretty much this guy that's traveling with us to the point where it almost feels like if he told us this stuff, it may have changed just how people went about being around him, you know? Especially going to Russia with this guy compared to just going with a handful of people. Unfortunately, I don't even know why they're really going to Russia, to be honest. Outside of the fact that there's stuff here that um, this guy thinks the daughter will learn, our huntress, and if she does learn these things, it would put him in a better position to actually, you know, learn and have her remember any and everything about what her father may have taught her, because it's already been the case, right? There's already been like 2 to 3 things that have sparked her memory about her father, and it's kind of crazy that he was there in Russia to really be the one to throw the bomb at the emperor to take him out, and that's where his huge scar on his head comes from, was the explosion of that thing going off way too close to him. But it's crazy to think they lived out of that. Like, they actually escaped and they've been living this whole time. Not to mention the fact of how there's been a war incited, and everybody who's fighting, this might be the reason why they're fighting, right? Is, like he said, that emperor was the one who signed the treaty. So if he signed some treaty and these two didn't want anything to do with it, or at least they wanted to look like a Japanese, you know, the people who they signed treaty with are the ones that also attacked, right? Like, now they don't know if they are truly, you know, part of their side, or if they're just people that wanted this to happen for whatever reason. But because it's happened, it feels like it's another reason why the war raged on even longer than it probably should have. So I'm really interested in seeing what all of this is going to bring about, uh, in the information wise, when it comes down to the actual war. Like, what was the breaking point for them to be fighting this way? And seeing the sniper, oh god, this man is nuts. He is absolutely nuts, okay? Not only did he want to go inside of a brothel and enjoy himself, but for some reason he only really brought his brother here because he wanted him to lose his virginity, because having your virginity and being a flag bearer is pretty much what you're supposed to do. And it looks like the lieutenant was actually for all of this happening. Like, he wanted him to fall in line with the rest of his troops. He wanted him to be one of them in the grand scheme of do whatever the lieutenant says before and after this battle. And as we're watching, it looks like that's still the case, right? Looks like even though the war has ended, this man is still following true with everything he has been taught, everything he has learned from the lieutenant. He doesn't really seem regretful of it. I mean, sure, he's being haunted by the sight of his younger brother that he shot, but it's these types of things that also give you the information you need to know how he really feels about it, right? Like, he doesn't really seem all that broken up about it, especially when he takes the shot. And I think it's his imagination that this guy straight up turned around and looked back at him, because, to be fair, it's a bullet in your head. It's a bullet in the head, alright? You're not just going to be like, huh, I felt it enter the back of my head and go through the front. So that means I got shot from the back. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna do that. You're just gonna die. So to think that he imagined him pretty much looking at him this way, it really does draw the conclusion that he does feel somewhat bad about what has happened. And it's nice to see those types of things in the grand scheme of him just being like this heartless sniper, which that's what you have to be. Even when he shot someone else, he really just did that because he knew that would ultimately separate the sniper from these other people who are going to be maybe more of a problem than the actual sniper if they got close enough to start shooting at everybody. And then they had the sniper backing him up. So he pretty much put the sniper in a position where he had to move forward, and he wasn't going to move forward in the wrong ways. He was going to move in a way that he would be able to still pick off this other sniper. And to think that he got fooled twice. First he thought the guy was just camping in his clothes waiting, and that was wrong. And then he follows the snow track that was already covered, and of course he led the covered up snow to a place where it looked like he would go and hide, which is a coffin. But the problem with thinking he's in this coffin, I mean, sure, he just like reacted after finding the location of where it went, but how was he going to fight outside of that coffin, right? Like, why would someone as accurate as him, as dirty as him, instead of shooting a guy in the head, you left him there to suffer, and you were hoping that it would slow down other people, the other troop? Why would this guy hide in a coffin, something that he can't even really shoot out of all that good? I mean, unless, I guess he thought he had a hole in it, and he was laying down on his belly, and I don't even know what he was thinking. So, of course that shot does not hit, and he said he was eating snow a lot for some reason. I don't know what the snow does for him, but what I do know is he ate so much of it that he wound up getting a fever. How is his legs reaching further than mine? Come on. And he fell ill. But the best part is when our prisoner, our escapee, straight up wants to run away with this girl, our huntress, and get away from all this, just to come to find out that she's being way too stubborn, man. She's being so hard-headed that it almost made me hate her. I can't hate her, but I was disappointed in her decision. But it makes more sense when she talks about it, because if she abandons this, she's pretty much abandoning the Immortals' conquest. She's abandoning what her father has left behind. She's abandoning, you know, everything that they've done up to this point. She would just be walking away from it. And of course our escapee is willing to do that, but her, not so much. So we'll see how this plays out for her. I really hope nothing bad comes to her, especially with her having the way to crack the code. And once she cracks the code, she's absolutely useless. She's just a little girl on a quest that she shouldn't be on after that, you know. So hopefully that is not the case, and she can easily outmaneuver some of these guys, because as of right now, I am terrified what they're going to do to my little huntress at the end of the day. But with all that being said, everybody, I hope you have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you sooner than later. So with that, peace.